Welcome to the final part of this emotional Korean drama story. The journey of the cursed girl is finally reaching its end. From the very beginning, she has carried a deadly curse. Every man who gets close to her faces a tragic fate. Branded as a witch, she has lived in fear and loneliness. But behind all the pain, there lies a story of love, sorrow, and hope that refuses to fade. If you haven't watched part 1 and part 2 yet, be sure to watch them first. Now let's dive into the final chapter and witness how her fate unfolds. Dong-jin anxiously kept an eye on the timer. Suddenly, strange lightning streaked across the sky. A nearby truck was loaded with sharp steel rods. Realizing the threat, Dong-jin leapt out of the bus window. At that moment, Mi-jong opened her window too and called out his name. Now, he was within a 10-meter range of her for over 10 minutes, and she knew his name. Dong-jin recalled that lightning never struck the Han River in winter. He glanced at Mi-jong, smiled softly, and then jumped. Back in high school, Dong-jin often found himself looking at Mi-jong without even meaning to. Over time, she noticed him as well and learned his name from his uniform tag. After graduation, she realized he had tried to find her. She had even spotted his photo in the alumni book. But when they finally crossed paths again, it was as he jumped off the bridge. Luckily, an ambulance arrived just in time, and he was rushed to the hospital. Mi-jong suspected it was because of her. Frantically, she checked the news and felt a wave of relief seeing he was safe. Meanwhile, Yun-sil hurried to the hospital and scolded Dong-jin, demanding he stop this madness. But Dong-jin still had one lingering question. He needed to know what would happen if Mi-jong fell in love with someone. The next day, Yil took Mi-jong on a short trip. She called Dong-jin and left the phone beside her. Then Yil asked Mi-jong if she had ever liked someone. Mi-jong paused, thinking about her first love, an older boy from church. She had known him since they were kids and went to church weekly just to catch a glimpse of him. One day, she saw him buying epilepsy medicine at a pharmacy. Fearing she had discovered his secret, he began avoiding her. Before he graduated, he gave her his study notes but was stung by a hornet. Worried, she bought epilepsy medicine, but never had the courage to give it to him. Years later, when Mi-jong got accepted into Korea University, he came to congratulate her but had no memory of the notes. At that moment, she let go of her feelings for him. During this conversation, Dong-jin realized the senior matched all the criteria, but strangely, he wasn't in any danger. He hurried home and dug out the study notes Mi-jong had discarded. The next day, Dong-jin confronted the senior, asking why he had lied. The senior admitted he had passed out from an epilepsy attack that year. He felt thankful to Mi-jong for covering for him, though he had never asked her to. Dong-jin was furious. Not only had the senior used Mi-jong to protect his secret, but he had also spread rumors about her being a witch. Dong-jin flipped through his study notes, and at the very end, he found the senior's written confession to Mi-jong. That senior had broken every rule but still lived without trouble. Yet Dong-jin's life had fallen apart, all because he longed for just a single conversation with her. Back at home, feeling defeated, he sadly scribbled "stalker" on the wall and pinned up his own photo. It finally hit him. The only thing that could change fate was Mi-jong's heart. Only the man she loved could escape this curse. Dong-jin chose to risk it all on this one final chance, to make her fall in love with him. From then on, Dong-jin trained his body relentlessly. Once he felt fully prepared, he sent a text to Yoonil and Kim, left his phone behind, and made his way to Mi-jong's house. He rang her doorbell, pretending to be a delivery worker to get her to open the door. Dong-jin began telling her about all the effort he had recently put in, but Mi-jong stopped him midway, warning him not to say anything more. Dong-jin gently assured her it wasn't her fault. He had always wanted to tell her this in person. He then set down some gifts from their hometown and told her to do whatever felt right this time. This time, Dong-jin crossed the line and went beyond just 10 exchanges of words. He walked away down the street, pulling his suitcase, cautiously avoiding any mishaps. Suddenly, a truck came racing toward him. Mi-jong opened the gift box and discovered a USB drive inside. On it, Dong Jin had saved photos of her old house back in their hometown. It all looked exactly the way she remembered. The USB also held a video of Do-yoon confessing. Do-yoon admitted that out of childhood jealousy, she had spread rumors about Mi-jong being a witch, which led to Mi-jong's isolation and forced her to leave home. Mi-jong had waited for this apology for so long. Finally, she could let go of the burden. Meanwhile, the police were closing in on the fugitive. Sensing he was cornered, the criminal tried to flee. In the scuffle, an officer got injured by a shard of glass. Fortunately, Kim arrived just in time to stop him. The killer taunted the victim, claiming she must have seduced the officer. But his mocking only earned him a harsher beating. Kim was later suspended for using excessive force. He visited the hospital to inform the victim's mother that the criminal had been apprehended. 2 weeks later, an official met with Kim to discuss his transfer. During the meeting, she quietly slid him a drink and, with a shy hint, revealed her feelings for him. Unable to contact Dong Jin, Yil went to the police station to seek Kim's help. Kim's last interaction with Dong Jin was on the night he caught the criminal. When he tried calling Dong Jin back, no one picked up. It wasn't until Yoonil mentioned something that Kim realized Dong Jin had disappeared. Kim tracked down Dong Jin's former boss and found out where he lived. He then visited several people, the agent, the convenience store clerk, the supermarket manager, and the chairman, to gather clues about Dong Jin. Back at the apartment, Kim spotted something strange on the bookshelf. All the books had been translated by Mi-jong. Her resume listed a travel documentary produced by Yoon Sil. Curious, Kim asked Yil how she knew Dong Jin. But Yil turned the question back at him, asking if he believed in the existence of witches. That's when Kim had a sudden realization. Dong Jin's clues pointed to Mi-jong. They hurried to Dong Jin's home and searched his computer. Kim opened a website that required login credentials. He saw writing on the glass and tried it as the username. Then, remembering that Dong Jin had studied wines in college and written a thesis, he entered Dong Jin's student ID as the password. And it worked. Inside were records of Dong Jin's dangerous experiments and risk-taking. In the closet, they found 3 pieces of battered armor. Later that night, Dong Jin's alarm went off at the usual time when Mi-jong would feed stray cats. Kim followed her, carefully maintaining a safe distance, set a timer, and started a conversation. After 10 exchanges, Kim told her he understood better than anyone the danger of getting too close, the story of dying if someone approached her. Meanwhile, Yil found a document titled Kim Jung-hook Incident Report. One file detailed a recent victim, and it became clear. Like Mi-jong, Kim was cursed too. Any woman who got close to him would either get hurt or lose her life. At that moment, Yoonil appeared across the street, calling out Kim's name. Seeing him, she felt a spark of curiosity about this tragic man. At that moment, they were separated by a distance of 10 meters. The following day, a female officer got injured in an accident, and it seemed that Kim's curse continued to harm those around him. Mi-jong heard the doorbell ring and rushed downstairs, only to find Kim standing there with Dong Jin's first report from 10 years ago. The report rejected the idea of the witch's existence. "You're not a witch," Kim said, echoing Dong Jin's long-held belief, something he had always wanted to tell Mi-jong. It was Mi-jong's first time visiting Dong Jin's place. From his window, she could see her own house. She sat down at his computer, flipping through his files. Kim explained that Dong Jin never cared about whether she was a witch. Instead, he spent years researching a way to love her, even making himself the final piece of the puzzle. Only Mi-jong knew Dong Jin's whereabouts. The next day, Yoonil arrived at the police station, saying Mi-jong was missing. Kim wasn't shocked. As she kept talking, he noticed her growing interest in him but made sure to keep a distance. Since childhood, unusual events had always occurred around him. To protect others from his curse, he had chosen to live alone until Dong Jin appeared. From the very beginning, Dong Jin knew about Kim's curse, and that's why he kept approaching him. He wasn't just trying to save Mi-jong but Kim as well. He realized that the 5 laws applied to both of them, and his final piece of advice to Kim was that he must learn to love. Kim needed some time to find the courage to take that first step. Mei Yong finally arrived in Austria, the place she had always dreamed of visiting. Dong Jin, the person who knew her best, was already there waiting for her. While investigating his disappearance, Kim had discovered his exit records a long time ago. The two had been together for over 10 minutes, but Dong Jin still firmly expressed what he had always wanted to say. I love you. Suddenly, dark clouds gathered and thunder rumbled. Dong Jin stood up preparing to leave, but Mi Jong stopped him. She had been thinking about him throughout her journey, worried about his safety. She had studied his data and discovered something he hadn't known. Those who loved her often suffered when they were apart, but when they were together, nothing bad ever happened. She pleaded with Dong Jin to stay with her and finally admitted, I love you too. In that instant, the sky cleared, and they embraced tightly. The true heart of the witch was the only way to break the curse. Meanwhile, Kim and Yunil still maintained a distance of 10 meters. She stepped forward, but he took a step back, fearing that the laws Dong Jin had discovered wouldn't work for him. Yet Yunil wasn't afraid. After confessing her feelings, she boarded the bus. At that moment, Dong Jin sent Kim a message. Final law, never stray far from her side. Kim immediately called Yunil and sprinted after the bus, hoping to catch up. No one knew if this was truly the final law, but one thing was certain. As long as two people love each other, they will always find a way, because love conquers all. Thanks for watching Duty Movie. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell, so you never miss out on our latest uploads. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. See you in the next one.